Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Monir El Azzouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we are at minus 30 days from the date of application of EU MDR, or maybe minus 29 days because I'm not recording that directly on Tuesday. What I wanted to do today is mainly try to see, if I can say, what you remind you, like a checklist to say what you should do before date of application, who is really impacted by the date of application, and what you should not do, because I have a lot of people that are asking me, should I do this, should I do that? So I say, no, you don't need to do that. It's not mandatory. So I will try to explain that to you. First, I wanted to give you a scope mainly of the products that are really impacted by the date of application, because by the 26th of May 2021, you have to be ready. You have to be following the EU MDR. And this is something that maybe people don't really understand at certain point. So I wanted to remind them exactly what you have to have ready on your documentation so that you are on the safe side. So let's start then. So first, I wanted to explain to you that the products that are really impacted by the date of application are mainly the class 1 products. Why? Because those products have no CE certificate, so there is no kind of element to say that they are already complying to a regulation until a certain date. Like when you have a CE certificate, there is an expiry date on the CE certificate, so you can say, I am complying to this document or to this regulation until a certain date. Here on the class 1 products, there is no CE certificate, there is a declaration of conformity. But this declaration of conformity is made by the customer himself, so it's not like something made by an authority. Then you have also the custom-made devices. There is a changes on the custom-made devices, so I would like also to talk about that. So custom-made devices, before you didn't need a notified body at all for custom-made devices. So you are manufacturing one piece or a certain batch of pieces for one patient only. And here you didn't need a notified body. You are just creating a statement, etc. Now the change is that if your product is a class 3 implantable, then you need to appoint a notified body for him to review your quality management system. But by the date of application, you have to be ready. So it means that by the date of application, any custom-made products that are issued that are placed on the market after the date of application should follow the EU MDR. Class 3 or class 2A or class 2B or class 1, so everything. So it means if you have a class 2A product, it has to follow the EU MDR by the 26th of May 2021. So be ready for that, because what we hear a lot now is that the authorities, I don't know which ones, but some authorities are asking more than just the declaration of conformity and the labeling or whatever. I heard some authorities asking for class 1 devices some clinical evaluation documentation. So it's something that I never saw that within an authority for a class 1 device, for example. So it's something that is coming. So it's why you have to be ready for this kind of thing. So by being ready, meaning you have to have all the documentation available. Then for combination products, so if you have a pre-filled syringe, before you didn't have to follow the medical device regulation, because a pre-filled syringe with a drug inside was considered as a drug, so it has to follow the drug regulation. But with the EU MDR is amending the Medicinal Product Directive, the 2001/83 EC. So mainly this is amending it to say, okay, your product is a drug, it's fine, we agree with that, it's not a problem, but your drug has, as an integral part, a medical device. So you still have to have a notified body reviewing this device, like a syringe, for example. So you have to have a notified body reviewing the syringe. So the manufacturer is creating maybe a summary dossier. I have something like that also on my shop if you want to look at that, a template, a summary dossier that you can present then to a notified body with all the details that they need to see for your syringe, for example, specifically. But you don't need a CE marking on the product. The notified body will just send a statement, a letter saying that yes, they reviewed and everything is fine and then they place the letter on the drug dossier. Mainly it is that. So there is no CE marking on drug device, on drug products, but you have still to follow the EU MDR per Article 117. And I think we talked about that also on a podcast with Theresa Giari. So if you want to go back to this podcast to learn about that, it will be really important for you. Then we have also the Annex 16 products. So each time we say Annex 16 product, but what is that? So there is an annex in the EU MDR, nearly the last annex. There is one annex after that, which is Annex 16, which is for non-medical purpose devices. So mainly it is, for example, the famous one is the lenses that are used, that are colored, that are here just as a cosmetic to color your eyes, but nothing like helping you to have a better view. So those devices, similar to that, there is 6 categories that are listed on Annex 16. Those devices have to follow the EU MDR. The only distinction here is the fact that normally they have to follow the EU MDR by the date of application. So by the 26th of May 2021. But there is also a clause on the EU MDR saying that it will be, they have to apply this regulation as soon as the common specification are published for Annex 16 products. Actually, the common specification for those products are not published. And the idea is that if this is not published, then we have to wait that those common specifications are published, and then we have, I think, 6 months from there, so that the company is applying the EU MDR regulation, so that they are following, if I can say, what is mentioned on the common specification and whatever. So meaning that if you have actually product that is on this Annex 16 list, please be informed that soon you'll have to follow the EU MDR, so be ready for that. And it's really critical for you because maybe, I don't know, but maybe before that you never had to follow this kind of regulation, and you can imagine that it is really a difficult regulation. Even the manufacturers that are used to EU MDD, for example, they are struggling with EU MDR. So it's why I'm saying that you have really to take care of that. And the last category is mainly the devices that have no certificate at all. So it means that imagine a startup that is starting to develop its product. It has not placed its products on the market before the 26th of May 2021. So it has no certificate or no CE certificate. If it starts to place its products on the market, or it starts to have a certificate after the 26th of May 2021, this certificate should be an EU MDR certificate. It cannot be an EU MDD certificate anymore. So it has to be a EU MDR certificate. And then on this certificate, it will give an expiry date of the certificate. But if you have a CE certificate before the 26th of May 2021 under, for example, the MDD, then you can continue to place your device on the market until the expiration of your certificate. And this is something that is really, really important. The other thing is also that you have some devices that are class 1, but they are up-classified because of EU MDR. Those devices, if they are placed on the market before the 26th of May 2021, they will benefit from an additional transition period. Why? Because with the class 1, you don't need a notified body. So you are self-certified. But if they are up-classified to class 2A, class 2B, or class 3, then they will need a notified body. And then it will take a long time for them maybe to get a notified body, and this is why they extended the due date or the transition period until the 26th of May 2024. So for example, if you have a software that is class 1, and because of EU MDR it will become class 2A minimum, then your software can benefit from this transition period if it has been placed on the market before the 26th of May 2021, that you have a declaration of conformity before the 26th of May 2021. But if you have a declaration of conformity after this date, then this product should follow the EU MDR and should be having a notified body, etc., etc. So this is really something that is important for you to follow. Okay. Now, let's say by the 26th of May 2021, what you should have available. So mainly you should have available first a quality management system. So some people are saying to me, okay, a quality management system, what does it mean? So first, even before the EU MDR, normally you should have a quality management system, but now on the EU MDR, it's written black on white that in Article 10, Recital 9, so paragraph 9, it says that you have to have a quality management system. A manufacturer of medical devices should have a quality management system. And on this article, it says also what are the procedures that should be available for this for this quality management system. So it says, for example, it should be available regulatory compliance procedure, vigilance procedure, supplier search procedure, human resource procedure, etc., etc. So it's providing you the list of procedures or elements that should be available on your quality management system. So some people are telling me, okay, I'm a class 1 product. Do I need to have an ISO 13485 because ISO 13485 is the ISO for a medical device quality management system? So should I have an ISO 13485 certificate for my class 1 device? The answer is no. There is no need of a notified body, so there is nobody that will be reviewing specifically your quality management system. The idea is to have a quality management system because by law you have to have it per EU MDR. So if you are just having a quality management system that is covering what is written on Article 10, paragraph 9, then it's fine. You have just to go through that, check what are the different procedures available, and then you have to have them available for respecting the law and the legislation. But there is no need for you to have an ISO 13485. I recommend it to have that because we all know that, we start to build a quality management system at the beginning, but if we are not maintaining that, if we are not having somebody that is telling us if it's good or bad, etc., we are maybe having a ghost quality management system, so something available but never used. And it's why maybe having a certification will help your company to grow and also to have a quality management system that is really helping you, because a quality management system is here to help you. It's not here to if I can say, put you down or to stop you to make business. The idea is really to help you to have a compliant product on the market. So this is mainly the first thing. And we have made, if I remember, a video with Stefan Bollinger, LinkedIn Live, that I will put maybe on the show notes so that you can look at that, where we talked about that. We talked about mainly having a quality management system before the date of application and what is the content, what is inside, etc. So I will put that on the show notes. The second thing that you have to have is also our clinical data for your product. So we see a lot of class 1 devices that have no clinical data because as they are self-certified, as I've said, nobody is really checking those products because they are considered low-risk device. So if they are low risk, we consider that there is no safety issue or there is no problem. But the EU MDR is clear. You have to have a clinical evaluation performed for your class 1 device. And this is something that can be difficult for companies that are maybe selling these products since a long time, but they never gathered any clinical data for their products. So this is something that you have to have through a clinical evaluation. Maybe at the beginning it will be a small clinical evaluation because you don't have so much data, but the idea for you is that you are starting with maybe a small thing and then you are making it grow by gathering more and more and more information. And this is something that we talked with Robert van Boxtel, where we had a discussion about low risk devices, where we discussed about what you can do, if I can say, to prove that your product is safe. We talked, I think, about plasters, like the plaster when you have a wound, etc., on your finger, for example. How can you prove that this device clinically is safe and performant? And it's really something that you have to have. So safety and performance. What does it mean? It means that you are claiming a lot of things about your device. You are saying my device can do this, my device can do that, etc., etc. The idea is you have also the clinical data to prove that your device can do that. So you have to gather enough information to prove that your device can do that. And this is also something that is gathered inside the clinical evaluation. So usually you are using, for example, some equivalent devices or some literatures or whatever you can find to gather those information to say my device is safe and performant because it can help to heal a wound or whatever. Okay, other thing is a PMS plan. So this is not new. This is something that was already needed before under the EU MDD. But what is new here is that you have to be proactive. Before we were more waiting for, so inactive, I can say, or waiting just for the information to arrive to us. So we say, okay, I'm waiting for compliance, I'm waiting for vigilance reportings, I'm waiting for issues, or I'm waiting for feedback, I'm waiting for something from the customers so that I can say, okay, my product is good or bad. Usually it's always bad thing that we are gathering. Now, what we are asking you is to be proactive. So to go on the market and to ask for those data. So to check that your product is doing well, to maybe make a survey, to ask for feedback, to get also the positive of your product, so just to confirm that your product is safe, that your product is also not used off-label, so meaning that we are having an indication for our product to say you have to use these products on this scope, for this indication. And maybe when you make your survey, you'll find that no, it's also used for this indication where it's not at all mentioned on any information of the labeling. So you have also to gather those data, so just to see if there is an issue here, if there is something that you can correct or maybe inform better if there is an issue of off-label issue or off-label use of the product. So the PMS plan is also a part now of the technical documentation. There is a second part, so Annex 3 of the technical documentation, where you have to create your PMS plan. And then if you are a class 1 device, you have to create then a PMS report. There is no frequency for that. Normally you are making it once, and then you are updating that when needed, at the frequency when there is some changes or when there is a need here. But for example, for other products, class 2A, class 2B, and class 3, it's not a PMS report, it's a PSUR, so periodic safety update report, where you have a frequency here to update them. So you see that when it is a low risk device, they are also saying, okay, we are not pushing you to update every year, every 2 years. It's really dependent on the product and what you hear or what you get from the product, so that you can make this change or not. But you have still to have a PMS plan. You have to have all those information available. Then we have the PMCF plan. So we have just made recently a LinkedIn live, so you will have maybe that tomorrow because it's published here on Tuesday, and maybe on Wednesday you will have the video, the replay of the LinkedIn live that we have made with Cesare Magri from Beyond Clinical. On this video we have answered all your questions. I mean, there was a lot of questions. It was 1 hour long about PMCF. So we talked about PMCF plan, PMCF report, PMCF study. When do we need that? Do we need that for a class 1? And the answer is yes, we need that for a class 1. So you have to have that available. And we had also a video with Hélène Equi where we talked also about PMCF. So Hélène Equi from QMed. So I will put, as I've said, all the links of those videos on the show notes. But I think it's important for you, if you have not done now your PMCF plan, to look at that. I have also on my shop a PMCF plan template. It's completely free. So you go on the shop, so school.easymedicaldevice.com, and there is the shop where you can get the free template. And please have that. It's not so long to fill. You have really to just think about what are the methodology you will be using to gather some detail on the market. Then we had, you have to have also a change on your labeling. So there are some elements on the labeling that should be changed. One element that is kind of obvious is the fact that before on the EU MDR we are not asking you to mention that your product is a medical device, and now on the EU MDR it says you have to mention on your labeling that your product is a medical device. So there is a new logo, a new symbol that was created for saying that it's a medical device. So it's a MD with a square around. So mainly this is showing to everybody this is a medical device. And then there will be no, if I can say, assumptions, because sometimes when we are looking at the product, we say, what is that? Is it a cosmetic, pharmaceutical, medical device, or something else, or a sanitizer like a biocide? We don't know. So here it will be clear. When it will be marked MD, it will be a medical device. You can also not use the symbol. You can mark medical device. The only problem is that if you do that, you have to translate it in all languages that are on on the packaging. And this is also something important about languages. Now it's really written on it. It says that you have to provide the products with the languages accepted in the country. So for example, if you go to France, it will be French. If you go to Germany, it will be German. If you go to Switzerland, it will be French, German, and Italian. So etc. So you have to, if I can say, place the language of the country on the device. So it can be really a big problem for some companies that are, for example, distributing the products in all over Europe. What does it mean? It means that you'll have to place all the languages in the packaging. And this can be a big problem. So it's why using symbols, ISO standard symbols, can be helpful for you. There is the new ISO standard that was published with the new symbols on it. So it will be something that maybe will help you, because when you have an internationally approved or harmonized standard, then you can avoid to make the translation of this for the symbols. Okay, so this is something also that I talked about labeling on the. I had the Greenlight Guru session where we discussed about that, how to create a label for medical device under EU MDR. And I had made also a podcast episode where I answered a lot of questions about labels, so how to have that, etc. So there was a lot of questions that were coming from this Greenlight Guru session that I have made. And at the end, as I received a lot of questions, I tried to answer them through a podcast. So I will also put the show notes the episode of the podcast, so that you can get that. If you have questions on labeling, you can go there and you can find everything. The other thing that we have to talk about is UDI and basic UDI/DI. So this is something that should be available. What does it mean available? It should be on your technical documentation, on the documentation of your products, but it should not be available specifically on the packaging, but we can talk about that just after. So you have to have a UDI and a basic UDI/DI. The UDI is mainly something that is tracking, if I can say, your product. And the basic UDI/DI is just a group, is a code that is grouping your products. Those UDI and basic UDI/DI will be needed for the UDamage registration, because to track the product, we will have to have the UDamage registration. And to get your UDI or basic UDI/DI, you have 4 actors actually. We have GS1, HIBCC, ICCBBA, and IFA. So those are the four entities that can help you to get a UDI code. And I have made a full article of that on Easy Medical Device. So easymedicaldevice.com/UDI, and you have a full article with all the information about UDI, how to place that, how to have that, etc., etc. And we have made also a LinkedIn Live with Sylvia Reingart from GS1 Germany. And there we explain to you from A to Z how to create your basic UDI/DI and your UDI/DI. So we took an example and we went inside the platforms and we created for you, we had created some fake products, and then we created a basic UDI/DI and a UDI/DI for those products to show you exactly how easy it is to do that. So you can go also on the show notes, and I will place the videos with Sylvia Reingart regarding that. Okay, next one is about new technical documentation. Now that you have your clinical data, your UDI, your PMS plan, etc., these are, if I can say, the pieces of the puzzle. So you have done that. Now you have to place all those pieces of the puzzle inside your technical file. So you have to fill your GSPR. Before it was essential requirements, Annex 1 of the EU MDD. Now it is GSPR, Annex 1 of the EU MDR. It's exactly the same principle. There is a lot of requirements. Here there is 23 requirements that you have to go through and that you have to assess and to say, yes, I'm complying to that. And one of them, for example, the first one can be about showing that your product is safe and performant, etc. And then you can show that with your clinical evaluation report. So you have these pieces of the puzzle to place there to say, here is where my piece of the puzzle will be placed on the GSPR. And you have that all along. You have the section 23 where we talk about the instruction for use, the labeling, and there you will also mention which labeling you are using for your products that are, those labelings should be compliant to EU MDR. So you place maybe the reference of this labeling, etc., etc. So this is a GSPR, and then you have the technical file where there is a lot of sections that you have to fill. Usually it is a summary of information that should be provided on those sections, and then you can place the real document like the clinical evaluation or whatever on the annex of the products. Some people are asking me, should it be on one file, the technical file? No, it can be on many small files. So you make one folder with the main technical file with the summary, and then you can say you can find that on Annex 1, and then you create a new folder with Annex 1, and here are the information. The idea is just that a reviewer, somebody that will review your file, will be finding easily the information that they are available. And each time you are updating your information, you have also to update your technical file. So it's also something that is important, that you have always a technical file that is up to date. With that, you have also then to create a new declaration of conformity. So by the 26th of May 2021, you have to have a new declaration of conformity. Before you were saying, I declare that I am complying to the EU MDD 9342 EC, etc., etc. Now you have to write a new declaration of conformity from the 26th of May 2021 to say, I certify that I am complying to the EU MDR 2017-745, blah, blah, blah. And I have on my website also, on Easy Medical Device blog, an article specifically on the declaration of conformity. I placed also inside a template free of charge of declaration of conformity. You go there, you can download that, and you can get it. So the idea is that yes, you have to have that available for the authorities that are asking that immediately. So you have to issue a new one as soon as you are EU MDR. So by the 26th of May 2021. Question about importers, distributors, authorized representative. So if you are an importer, distributor, or authorized representative for a class 1 device or custom made or whatever, then you have to follow the EU MDR. You have to check that they have a declaration of conformity that is up to date. You have to check that the packaging is conform. You have to check everything. I heard a lot of my customers that says, oh, my importer, my distributor contacted me to ask me that. And I think the importers and distributors are starting really to understand what are the consequences for them if they are not complying to that. So it's why they are pushing now their manufacturers to get those data, to get those information available. And this is something that is really important for you, that you are ready, you know exactly what information to provide. So if you have done nothing now, I mean, or you have a super team that can help you to change all your packaging, documentation, etc., and provide everything, or yeah, you will have a big problem if any authority is asking you by the 26th of May and you cannot provide, then there can be a big issue here. So we have made also a series of episodes with Eric Volbrecht from Axon Lawyer about importer, economic operator, authorized representative, so that you can also get there and you can see what are the role and responsibility of all. We answer also the question, do they need a quality management system? We answer a lot of questions about what they should do exactly. And lastly, by the 26th of May 2021, there is still an unknown situation. The unknown situation is about Switzerland and Turkey. Actually, Switzerland has a mutual recognition agreement with the European Union, which authorizes them, if I can say, to place their products on the European Union market. The manufacturers in Switzerland can place their products on the European Union market without an importer, without an authorized representative. But as they have not updated the mutual recognition agreement to mention the EU MDR, then it means that from the 26th of May 2021, Switzerland will not be anymore considered as part of the European Union for medical devices, only for medical devices. So it means that from this date, Swiss manufacturers will have to have an importer and an authorized representative in Europe. And yeah, apparently it's the same for people that are in Europe that want to go to Switzerland. They have to have a Swiss representative from the 26th of May 2021. This is the same for Turkey. There is a custom agreement with the Turkish government and European Union. Actually, there is maybe some negotiation. The problem is that we have no information at all about that, so we don't know. But If by the 26th of May, there is no signature of that, then it will be the same. The Turkish manufacturers will need to have an importer and authorized representative by the 26th of May 2021. If there is an agreement, then everything is fine, so we can move forward. The issue also is about notified bodies. We have a lot of notified bodies located in Turkey, and you have also some European, some French or German or whatever that are using a notified body in Turkey. What does it mean? It means that if normally, I suppose, if Turkey is not anymore part of the European Union in terms of medical devices, then notified bodies located in Turkey are also not anymore notified bodies, because you have to be a notified body to be a notified body, if I can say. So it means also that all the certificates that they issued will be voided. So it means that all the manufacturers that are within these notified bodies will be in trouble, because they have no more certificate. So they can still have. We have made an episode also with Eric Volbrecht about orphan procedure. It means that they have to get maybe some support from their country, so that they can give them some time to be their kind of notified body during a certain time, so that they can find a new notified body for the transition. But you can look at that on the episode we have done with Eric Volbrecht on that. So just information. So Easy Medical Device will be providing this service of Swiss representative. So if you are interested, please don't contact me. So contact me at the address swiss@easymedicaldevice.com, Swiss SWISS at easymedicaldevice.com, and we'll try to help you to get the Swiss representative. As this is something that will maybe last a few months, because we don't know, maybe the agreement will be signed after a few months. The idea here is that you are not paying like a full year, you are just paying month after month until this agreement is signed with the European Union. We hope it will be signed soon, but as we don't know, we suppose that we have to build this service just to help our customers in case there is a need of a Swiss representative. So don't hesitate to contact me at swiss@easymedicaldevice.com. Some last things. So there are also some things that are not mandatory by the 26th of May 2021, and people think it is mandatory. The first thing is UDAMED. UDAMED registration is not mandatory by the 26th of May 2021. You don't need an SRN number to move forward. You can place on the no SRN number on the declaration of conformity, or not applicable or not available, because mainly UDAMED is voluntary for now. There is only one module available for now, which is the economic operator registration. So if you can register, it's good. I recommend you to register, but it's not mandatory. Nobody can say, oh, by the 26th of May, you are not registered on UDAMED, so you cannot place your device on the market. Nobody can say that, because mainly UDAMED is not fully applicable, fully available. It is what is written on the EU MDR. It says you will be obliged to use UDAMED and as soon as it is fully available. And the other thing is that there are some countries that continue to develop their own systems, even if UDAMED will be in place. They develop their own systems, so they can register. People can register their products on the country. We heard about the Netherlands. We heard about other countries that are doing that. So mainly, I don't know. Maybe they are doing that temporarily, because normally UDAMED will be the real database where you will have to register all your devices. But for now, there is still this unknown situation with those member states that are doing their own systems. The other thing is about UDI. As I've said before, you have to have a UDI code, a basic UDI code, but it's not mandatory, for example, for class 1 devices to place it on the packaging. It's not mandatory until a certain date. For class 1 that have that on the packaging day itself, so it will be until the 26th of May 2025, then you can place the products on the packaging. For products that will have a direct marking on the product, because it's a reusable product, so you have to have the UDI directly on the products, then it will be the 26th of May 2027. So it means that you can continue to sell your products on the market. You have a UDI code on your technical file, you have a basic UDI, but the product has no UDI code on it, because mainly you benefit from this transition period. If you are class 3 products, for example, you have to have a UDI code by the 26th of May 2021. So this is, for example, the other way. There is still one question that we are trying to answer. I try to find information, I ask everybody. As we have a new declaration of conformity by the 26th of May 2021. Class 1 devices, usually, they have to be registered within each member state, because there are some member states like France, for example, or Netherlands, or things that says if you are a class 1 device, custom made or whatever, you have to register your device within the member state before to place it on the market. So here, it is the case, for example, as I say, on those countries, but there are some countries maybe that say, no, we don't need to do that. As soon as it's placed on one country, you can sell it on our country. The issue is that, it's really not harmonized at all. I try to look at a lot of websites, but the problem is that there are some Spanish one, Italian one, or other countries' languages. So it's a bit difficult for me to find really the right page and to find the information. If you can help me, it would be great that to gather this information, the table maybe with, for this country, yes, you need to register, and here is the link for the registration, to be really great, because I wanted to publish that on an article, but I was not able to find all the information. So if you can help me for that, it would be really great from your side. Okay, so this is mainly what we are trying to cover. If you have to cover, if I can say, within the next 30 days. If you need some support, so contact us. We'll try to guide you or to provide you some information. But really, you have to be ready by the 26th of May 2021. Why? Because after that, we have no clue what will happen. We have no clue if the authorities will contact you. We have no clue if there will be some issues or whatever. So you have to be ready, so that nobody can say, oh no, you don't have the data, you are not compliant, you are in illegality, etc., etc. One other thing that is important is that if you are class 2A, class 2B, class 3 products, even if you have maybe an expiry date after the 26th of May 2021, you have to understand that during that time of transition, there will be really a lot of activity for notified bodies. They are not all available. So it's something that you have to plan in advance. So plan really 9 months in advance, or maybe 1 year in advance for your certification. So if you can do that, it will be really great. It will help, I think, a lot of notified bodies also. And we are still in some of the countries, maybe in a remote audit possibility. So this is also something that is, if I can say, not helping at all for the certification. So be careful and try to be on time for your certification, just to avoid any disruption of the products on the market at all. Okay, so thank you. I hope this was really helpful for you. As I've said, this kind of episode where we make a summary again of what you need to do. Don't hesitate. Send me also questions if you want at info@easymedicaldevice.com, info@easymedicaldevice.com, if you have any question, if you want any support. And remember, if you want also to register your products in the UK, we have also a service as a UK representative. So just send an email at ukrep@easymedicaldevice.com. I know I'm making a lot of promotion here, but I know that a lot of customers are looking for support, and sometimes they don't know who to contact. So please don't hesitate, contact me. And if I don't have the service, if I don't know how to do that, I know somebody for sure that can help you for that. So don't hesitate for that. Okay, so I was really happy to provide you this episode, this information, and I hope this will be really helpful for you. So don't hesitate, if you are on YouTube, to make a like on the video. Provide also your comments. If you are on your platform, so don't hesitate also on the podcast platform. Don't hesitate also to make a review, just to say you like the episode. Sorry, there was a disruption of the episodes on the platform, the podcast platform. I don't know why there was 2 episodes that couldn't be released. I'm trying to find a solution for that, but anyway, you can find all the episodes of the Easy Medical Device podcast at the address podcast.easymedicaldevice.com. So podcast.easymedicaldevice.com. Okay, enough of Easy Medical Device. So I wish you really a nice week, and I hope you will have really a great month until the date of application. So talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye.